There is a growing effort tonight to ban smoking in Minnesota public schools. Many local educators are for the idea, but as our Lori Dahl reports, the proposal has some vocal critics.
There are some administrators who think banning smoking on school grounds would do nothing more than drive student smokers into bathrooms or other nooks and crannies of schools or into nearby neighborhoods.
Those who really want to stop smoking are trying to and are at various stages of stopping, and those who don't want to stop smoking are going to find a way to continue to smoke and are going to increase the amount of time that building staff, building administrators have to be policing.
All three Duluth senior highs have student smoking areas outside the buildings. Teachers may smoke in their lounge. Students at Central High School say a ban would be futile.
Not going to stop us from smoking. You know, if we have to smoke in school, we'd probably be smoking in the bathrooms more than anything.
Many school officials believe that educating students about the hazards of smoking goes further toward getting them to quit than a smoking ban ever would. That's Central Principal Ann Zweber's opinion. As a former smoker, she wishes people wouldn't smoke, but she thinks warning students get in class are already convincing them to put their cigarettes out permanently.
People feel comfortable with having friends who smoke and still make a decision to not smoke themselves. I think that's changed a lot over the years, and I believe that education has been the key factor in making those changes.
The principals at Denfeld and East High Schools in Duluth say they would support a smoking ban if they had cooperation from law enforcement officials and parents. In Duluth, Lori Dahl, TV6 News.
The Steger expedition to the North Pole is almost there tonight. A Canadian military plane has spotted the team and says it's less than 30 miles from its destination. According to the base camp in the Northwest Territories, the expedition should reach the pole very soon. Despite earlier concerns about open water, the team reportedly has solid ice to travel on. The original Steger group, now down to 6 people, set out on its 480-mile trek in early March. Open-air dining took on a whole new meaning today for a Duluth restaurant. The Hacienda del Sol, noted for its Mexican cuisine, treated 2 construction workers to lunch at the bottom of a 10-foot hole. The crater, doubling today as a subterranean dining room, is a byproduct of all the current construction on Superior Street. The owner says the free lunch is the Hacienda's way of showing there are no hard feelings about the construction disruption. Today's menu, what else? A Dorito burrito. The NHL playoffs continue tonight, and the Twins' little center fielder is making a big noise in the major leagues. Mike Woodley is next with today's sports.
Introducing another celebrity from your Chevy 4 dealers.
Gonna take a sentimental journey.
Your area Chevy 4 dealers invite you to come in and register for tickets to the Dinah Shore concert, May 9th at the Duluth Arena.
I'm with you, rain or shine.
One ticket will be given away daily at each of your Chevy 4 dealers, Larson Superior, Rather Duluth, Moses Cloquet, and Sanju 2 Harbors.
100 years ago, our Yellow Pages started helping people in the West.
My cattle are stranded. I've got to get some feed up there.
And though we were the only Yellow Pages in town, we worked to be the best we could be.
Thanks, boys.
At U.S. West Direct, we still believe in that tradition.
I have to get some feed to my cattle today.
We publish the West's complete Yellow Pages to help more people find what they're looking for. U.S. West Direct, publisher of the West's best Yellow Pages.
Better look out, mama, look out, dad. It's the ugliest goodie I ever had. Fruit bars, so good and ugly. Fruit bars, so good and ugly. Made with real fruit, so your taste buds shout. Hey! Look so ugly, gonna knock you out.
They did that to fruit? What a pity.
Fruit corners, fruit bars, we think they're rather pretty. Fruit corners, fruit bars, so good.
Who says they're ugly?
Playoff action tonight.
NHL variety. Some great games going on in 2 cities. In fact, the cities of St. Louis and Edmonton are buzzing tonight with NHL action. Division playoff titles on the line in both the Norris and Smythe divisions. In St. Louis, the Blues and Maple Leafs battled it out in Game 7 of their series. First period, Greg Paslowski shoots, and it goes on the rebound to Eddie Beers, who will put the puck in off Kenny Reggett, 1-0 St. Louis. Toronto tied the game at 1. Then in the third period, Mark Hunter out to Kevin LaValle in front of the net. That made it 2-1 Blues. They take the lead. 10 minutes to go in that hockey game. The score is 2-1. The Blues lead. The winner will go on to meet the winner of the Edmonton-Calgary game tonight. And speaking of which, the Edmonton Oilers and Calgary Flames are going at it. It's Game 7 of their Smythe Division final at the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. With no score late in the first period, the Flames shorthanded Doug Riseborough over to Hakan Lube, and the Flames go up 1-0. The Oilers applied heavy pressure, but Glenn Anderson's shot is stopped by Flame goaltender Mike Vernon. He's having a great night. Calgary's lead stood at 1. Then, second period, Calgary's Jim Poplinski will come in and put in his own rebound off Grant Fuhrer. That's what you call hustle. That made it 2-0 at that time, but now Edmonton has come back, and Mark Messier's goal with a minute to go in the second period tied this game at 2. The winner will go on to the semifinals. The Milwaukee Bucks will have a chance to even their second-round playoff series with Philadelphia tomorrow night. Last night at the Mecca, the Sixers took Game 1, 118-112. 4 of the last 5 years, the Bucks have been playoff victims to the Sixers. One playoff game tonight as the Lakers are trying to jump ahead 2-0 on Dallas. Watch the pass. Magic Johnson to James Worthy. He puts it in. And right now, early in the game, in fact, in the first quarter, the Lakers lead 21-19. Game 3 will shift to Dallas. On Friday night, the Lakers have a 1-0 lead. The Twins made a deal today to try to shore up their pitching staff. They acquired Juan Augusto from the Chicago White Sox, but don't look for this guy to close the door for the Twins. In 9 games in Chicago, Augusto was 0-2 with an ERA of 7.71. Ron Davis wouldn't even be proud of that. In return, the Twins gave up another reliever in Pete Filson. He was simply awful so far this season. Augusto was in a Twins uniform tonight, but the big story tonight continues to be Kirby Puckett. Top of the third, Puckett ropes one off Joe Niekro for his 8th home run of the year. That made it 1-0 Twins. Puckett leads the American League in home runs with 8. Too bad Don Mattingly had a 3-run home run, however, for the Yankees, and that was the difference. As New York wins tonight 3-2, that series wraps up tomorrow night in New York. The Brewers started Teddy Higuera tonight against the Oakland A's. Higuera went looking for his 3rd win. He's still looking because in the 7th inning, Milwaukee has a 2-1 lead. Other scores, the Blue Jays over the Angels, Kansas City over Detroit. The Mariners lead Boston in the 7th inning. Chicago down Baltimore 8-6. And the Indians, in a rain delay in Texas, they lead in the 5th inning of that one 3-2. In the National League, the troubles continue to mount for Pete Rose and the Reds. Cincinnati lost their 5th straight. They have the worst record in the major leagues. Chris Brown sacrificed in the 12th gave the San Francisco Giants a 6-5 win today. 11 in a row for the Mets. Dwight Gooden, a 6-hitter. Mets 8-1 over the Braves. Astros over the Phillies. The Cards at San Diego. The Cubs at the Dodgers. Just starting. And it may be hard to believe, but softball teams at both UMD and UW Superior got their doubleheaders in today. Despite the rain, in the first game, the Bulldogs lost to the Gophers in 9 innings. Tough one. And the Bulldogs over Concordia in the second game 5-4. Lori Heikkinen threw a no-hitter in UW Superior's game with Bemidji State. She was 2 walks shy of a perfect game. In the second game, a run in the bottom of the 7th won it for the Jackets. They win 2 today, and that second win, 2-1 the final. Cathedral High School will have a new hockey coach this fall. Roger Coster left to teach at Two Harbors, so the Hilltoppers today named Guy LeBlanc as their new head man. LeBlanc was Coster's assistant at Cathedral. He also starred for 4 years at St. Scholastica. This is his first head coaching job, and he sees a bright future at Cathedral.
The last few years it's been on the upswing. It's everything's looking real positive now. There's a lot of enthusiasm up here. There's some big shoes to fill in Roger Coster, but he's left a good reputation. I hope to keep building on it.
And today is a day of rest for all 28 NFL teams who put in the extra hours working on the draft. The Vikings' #1 pick, Gerald Robinson of Auburn, is in the Twin Cities, where he said he's looking forward to that upcoming season with the Vikings.
Well, my plan is to come here and contribute as much as I can to the Vikings. They gave me the opportunity to play pro football, and I'm going to give all I got to help them have a better season.
Jerry Burns, the coach of the Vikings, was happy to get his first look at his #1 pick, but had some advice for the rookie from Auburn who listed his favorite performer as Boy George.
We want anything more about that Boy George stuff. keep that low profile on that Boy George.
I don't know, Steve, maybe Mike Lynn, the general manager, will put musical preference in his contract. I'm sure he'll sign. He wants to play with the Vikings, which is a switch because the last few years, the #1 pick for the Viking has not been too happy about coming to Minnesota.
Maybe he'll have to switch from Boy George to Prince.
Or Waylon Jennings or something, I don't know.
Just ahead, it's time to start thinking about the weekend weather forecast. Jack McKenna is up next, and he'll tell us what's in store. Stay tuned.